Yep. Let's take a look at the featured matchup. The carry position has been highlighted for this particular matchup. Goz, do you want to take us through it?
I think looking at Arteezy and Resolution, we're seeing quite different hero pools. Arteezy has been playing like the Clinks, Spectre perhaps maybe the one kind of overlap between the two players, but I'd look at Arteezy kind of to often play kind of second fiddle sometimes to EG, but we'll be helping ourselves into the draft.
Yep.
And I think the carry role is going to be very important here. Resolution has often been the player who stood out when DC, now Thunderbirds, have done well.
There we go then.
Yep.
Draft number 1, and 4 bans in. No picks yet.
We should mention that Nature's Prophet has been the first phase ban. Both these are the two teams that love to play this hero, and they first phased it as well throughout this whole tournament. So that's sort of like a special ban. And from EG, getting rid of Beastmaster and Keeper, not something that we see often, but Thunderbirds really like playing with those heroes. They can push out lanes, get vision, and I would say like one of Evo Genius's biggest weaknesses is when the enemy team can have superior vision than them, so that they can always see where EG is and control the fights in that way. So Riki gonna be the first pick, something that we've seen Zai play quite a few times, and wow, instant bounty hunter. Who would have thought a Riki into a bounty? It's like I'm playing a pub game here.
Yeah.
You know, this is what would happen if I picked Riki in a pub, in a high level MMR pub. Next pick is either bounty or a spearbreaker. So Misery really loves that hero, bounty hunter. So Sanking, very powerful laning support. Laning offlaner. He can constantly shove out the lane, and if bounty hunter would help him, that's a lot of pressure on Arteezy in this game. Really, really liking that. Crystal Maiden. That's a hero that we've seen quite a lot throughout this tournament. We saw just OG play it, and you can see how much faster they were able to play the game with it.
Are you worried at all when you pick like a CM this early on, like you know you're likely against Moon Sanking, that securing that safe lane, like with a CM support, not maybe the best hero to zone with?
She has Root though. Root owns Sanking. Okay. I think that's one of the main reasons why Sanking fell off as an offlaner. He was kind of picked after the Root change, and then like Underlord was really popular, and we saw some Meepo, and then Sanking just got destroyed every time by this Root. But now I think Thunderbirds is actually one of the few teams that pick Sanking the most. But at the same time, Misery does like his old Swapperoo, or as Steven likes to say, whatever, you know.
The debate?
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Yep.
Sanking is going to be offlane. Let's not pick this. Oh, wait, we're just going to put it on Misery instead.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like that in this game, though, because I don't really see Saksa playing either of those heroes. He likes to play these long-ranged
He used to play Bounty Hunter a lot.
spell-casting heroes. He did, but
Yeah.
not after Misery became the 4-position roamer for the team.
It's Misery's second highest pick since 7.0.
Right.
And Moon Meander's third most picked since 7.0 is Sanking.
So Juggernaut being banned out, they see that that's the threat that EG can put in the safe lane where they can't pressure it too well. So like you said, the CM, she has a root mechanic, but overall laning is kind of weak. So you need to be able to like one-shot kill the Sanking, or it's just going to go back, shrine up, come back into the lane, keep pressuring you, and you're just going to lose out on resources.
And he'll have friends, like Bounty Hunter will likely even show up if they think they can really punish the EG safe lane. If they get something that's weak in the laning stage,
Right.
That's something that can be punished.
Terrorblade being a ban out, one of Resolution's favorite heroes. He can really control how they can take the towers with this. And EG don't really want to play against this hero who can take a tower really fast against them. They want to be able to react, but if it's Terrorblade, then your tower might just die way too fast before you can even get a chance.
Do you like the Darkseer ban? I think I was considering like maybe Puck is still like a top tier offlaner for Universe. It was what, first phase banned in the last tournament.
Yeah.
Because of how well Universe played it.
So the thing about Darkseer is it's kind of hard to pressure him in the lane if you're a bounty hunter. He has very high armor, and if he trades, it's not going to be very favorable for him. And since they have a Riki already, it's a strong combination. If they would just go dual lane, off lane, you might even be able to beat a Thunderbird's tri-lane with just a Darkseer Riki. So just removing that strong offlane hero.
And Darkseer's northward to the mana cost of his spells, you've got a CM. So I think that's like one of the scenarios where Darkseer's kind of seeing his
Exactly.
most play.
So the nerf that he had is pretty much non-existent. You just had this OP old Darkseer.
OPCM.
OPCM. I mean, CM just makes everything OP. Like that's why we see it so.
I mean, it's better because you're playing 4v5. You got a CM, you know.
Right.
No, and CM's actually even got some decent spells too to go with it. But
Dazzle. Okay, so that's something that Saksa really loves to play. A strong lane support that can push out the waves. So if there is a strong lane that's going to contest Thunderbirds, he can easily just push out this wave, go and do some pulls, and try to deny as much XP from the enemy as possible if he cannot just straight up zone the enemy offlaner.
And he's also really nice in combination with the Sand King. We've seen the dual lane a lot. It's probably the most often paired hero with Sand King, I think.
Yeah. My only concern is that Dazzle generally is not very good versus Crystal Maiden, since he doesn't have any disables to be able to stop the freezing field. And CM lineups generally play too fast and have too much mana. And Dazzle will most likely end up running out of his sustain before he can, just end a team fight. So, and magical damage obviously very good against Dazzle since his weave is all armor and physical damage reduction.
Plenty of support for Resolution in the crowd. Home favourite, of course. I guess the crowd will probably get behind Thunderbirds because of that.
Do you think they favor Thunderbirds or VP more? Probably VP, right?
Oh yeah,
probably VP.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just confirming.
yeah. I think it's a tough one for them if they end up meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll hear a few roars for Resolution.
Yeah. EG are very well supported around the world though, so I'm sure they'll have their fans as well.
Right.
Versus Resolution, though. This isn't Kiev we're talking about.
Absolutely, and that's why the majority are going to be de facto Thunderbirds fans, I guess.
So Abaddon coming out, a solid counter to the Bounty Hunter, but his laning is still going to be quite difficult playing against the Dazzle if he decides to do what he normally does, where he shoves out the lane and denies as much XP as possible.
Good old Weaver Sumail matchup.
So one thing...
Luna.
Huh.
They'll save Whis here for last.
So that's like one of his sort of synergic heroes from TI, right?
He's
For
also the
Resolution.
most played hero in 7.0, since 7.0, for Resolution.
Huh.
The most played.
Luna.
Unusually.
It was
Compared to
very. It
others.
was like here that was considered like the top carry when Helm of the Dominator was first introduced. So
Right,
like
right.
every
We
carry player,
absolutely spammed it.
Yeah.
every carry player was spamming it, and then Helm of the Dominator got nerfed. Luna actually got nerfed. Her third spell, the passive.
Yeah.
Or was that the second? I
Oh,
don't
her
remember.
base damage got nerfed.
Her base damage got nerfed.
And night
yeah.
vision.
And the night
scaling.
vision with
Night vision,
the passive.
yes.
So
But
the hero got a lot of
but
nerfs.
he still carried on playing.
Yeah, it's still a playable hero. You very strong lane when you're doing like a full dual lane, tri lane kind of setup with the bonus damage. Good kind of 5-man death ball here. And we talked about Thunderbird's playstyle. They like to take those early objectives. Luna very good at doing that when you hit that like level 6, level 7 with Eclipse, and you just push very well.
They
Yeah.
would probably prefer Terrorblade, though, over Luna.
Most likely, I'd say.
But it's gone.
Yeah.
But it's gone.
Yeah.
But is that an appropriate substitute? I
It-
guess so.
It can work. Like,
Yeah.
we can already see the kind of strategy Thunderbirds want to do, right? They want to be able to group up, take the tower, and then keep pressuring with this bounty hunter tracks and keep getting kills and make up for the lost farm they would have because they're grouping up more often. And EG going to go with the spec. Again, we've seen this hero quite often now. Has been very strong performance from when it has been picked. And pairing it with Abaddon, they have quite strong team fight right now, especially since they can remove the track. I think it's good. Not really sure if I can favor either of the lineups yet, but
Let's see what Sumail gets. They banned Puck, which is not been seen much play in the mid lane, but it's the kind of hero I feel EG really need, is that tempo controlling mid laner for Sumail. Something to even start fights.
The Meepo banned by EG.
Some respect there.
Just in case. Just in case. Yeah, the Spectre started off really strongly in the group stages. It's actually dropped quite a bit since. It's been played 20 times, 55% win rate.
Feels like EG really wants some kind of initiation, be it like an Ember, a Wind Ranger.
I mean, if you're playing that lineup, with DG, like you definitely cannot leave the meeple in the pool. Spec would not stand a chance. No AoE abilities to really chew down 5 meeples. Storm Spirit, okay. So they see the lack of the disables on Thunderbird side. And you said like you want a form of initiation, right? Yeah. So a spec hunt into Storm finding this Dazzle is a very good way to begin a fight.
Always enjoy a good Samael Storm Spirit.
Do you think they need a more scaling mid, like let's say Lina, or do you think they want more team fight with, like, let's say Death Prophet? When I guess those are kind of the two ones that I'm looking at.
I think the Death Prophet sounds really interesting, actually. Very good laning versus the Storm. Gives the Bounty Hunter a lane that he can kill as well. Boom, there it is.
All right.
I think I'm quite impressed with that last pick there.
Okay, let's get some predictions. Gods, we'll start with you.
I'm liking Thunderbirds. I think EG have to get a lot of farm on all their cores. You've got Abba, Storm, Spectre. Like, this is going to be a tough, slow start for them. I think Thunderbirds can punish that.
Okay, Thunderbirds for Gods. Melini?
Yeah, I have faith in the Thunderbirds push. I will also side with them.
It's going to come down to how many kills they're going to get on mid or DP, but I'm going to go with Thunderbirds as well.
Interesting. A clean sweep here on the panel. All have gone for Thunderbirds in the opening game, much to the perhaps annoyance of some of the EG fans out there right now. They'll have to be battling their way through as we head into Game 1 of our 3rd series. It is over to Toby1 and Cinderin to bring you the action.
Well, I hope you're all ready for one hell of a series. This could be a long one, everyone. Thunderbirds versus Evil Geniuses. Toby1 joined by the wonderful, the stupendous Cinderin. That's actually really bad for you. Yeah, we're back.
Thank you.
We are a serious broadcast. We had the professionalism of capitalists. We replaced him with me. And we are now here for EG versus Thunderbirds.
Oh, I thought you were going to say EG versus EG. Felt like that was appropriate. EG versus Thunderbirds. Interesting draft. Very different heroes, especially coming out from Thunderbirds. I said after watching the last series with OG that I thought DP is going to be a bigger and bigger pick going forward in this tournament. We do see it again in this game. Really happy to see Luna. I feel like this hero has kind of just been forgotten completely. So the picks from Thunderbirds here looking very interesting to me. Of course, we get an absolute classic with Samael and his Storm Spirit. Obviously, a lot of people will remember him from back at DAC, having outstanding performance after performance. And yet another of these games where it feels slightly light on lockdown and a bit more heavy on the farming side. But honestly, if you look at Team Spirit, I don't know where that came from. It kind of looks like T-Spirit, you know? That's their tag, but it's T-Birds. If you look at Thunderbird's lineup, they play faster. This is a type of lineup that wants to push. You have Luna, you have Death Prophet. I'm expecting them to look to maybe peak at around 2025.
How are both teams even meant to farm this up? Like
wait a second,
you got both the bounty as well as a Ricky. Yeah, Moon's coming up. They'll have to understand there is support here with an Orb of Venom from Misery. You just use your Frostbite. Misery starts harassing Arteezy, just pushing them off the rune more than anything else. You got the Burrow Strike, but now Zai's also rotated in. He went for first level up in the Cloak and Dagger. They're coming in close, but the Burrow Strike catches out too. The rune will get to be taken, but do you really catch anything more? The Clarity is burning up for Crit, but he won't have enough mana in time to get a Frostbite. So Moon will get away, and Misery is already on the roam into mid.
Yep, that's decent start for Thunderbirds. They do get the 3 runes. It does cost a lot for Misery, though. He's going to have to use his Clarity. I think he had 2 Tangos expended in this, I believe
so.
And, well, all it took for Crit was 1 Clarity here. So a bit of an investment for Thunderbirds, but they get some good information as well. They know that 3 heroes are bottom to begin with because Ricky had to show to protect the Spectre. And that gives them good confidence top lane to put a lot of pressure on Universe here with this Dazzle Luna lane.
It's a little bit difficult to put the pressure on him though, right? He's just going to shield himself up whenever you go for the poison. So then it's run away with PMS for protection.
Luna Aura kind of offsets the advantage that Poor Man's Shield gives, in a sense. It makes the support in the lane a lot stronger than usual. So that means that this dual lane can actually contest it and fairly well
this battle of vision. Misery's got the sentry ward on bottom lane, so he's watching Zai coming in closer, and then just tries to harass Crit further out of the lane, giving Moon a little bit more to play with. Remember, he doesn't have any mana, and he doesn't have that second level yet, so there's no caustic to work with, making this lane rather troublesome.
So far, so good still for EG, though, in this bottom lane. Even though they're being contested and annoyed a bit, RTZ is managing to find very good farm early on. Mid lane, Storm is doing great against TP as well. Something we haven't really talked about just yet is like the laning prowess of these two players in mid. I think Sumail, by many regarded as one of the absolute best mechanical lane players in the world, tends to win his matchup or at least break even, unless he has a very unfavorable matchup in his lane. Now, this one is not that good for Storm early on, I would say. Death Prophet should be able to pressure him pretty well. He's forced to use his Shrine already, whereas Weeha still has his available and almost full health. So Spirit Siphons are annoying.
Is this when you actually turn towards the roamers around? Like, isn't that when Zai's meant to be adding pressure to the mid lane instead?
He could, but it's such a difficult kill. Spirit Siphon on both of them.
Perfect Frostbite, Moon's in trouble. Burrow Strike up. Zai, he doesn't actually have his second level. He is so short of experience to getting the blink behind him, so Moon will actually end up surviving on bottom lane, but Zai actually he's not giving up yet. They're coming up to the Shrine. Zai, now he's going to strike forward, but at the same time the Shrine gets triggered. Burrow Strike back. They need the extra vision. They don't have it out from Misery, and Zai back to the world of Invis. The Caustic Pop, it is nowhere near. So he'll end up surviving as well.
He's still, they know he has to go all the way back to base if they checked his inventory. He has no health left.
What he would love if that Shrine was still up from Sumail.
Exactly, but Sumail used it earlier. That's probably being communicated by Weeha as well, that Shrine isn't available. So now gives a bit of time for the Sand King to feel very comfortable in the bottom lane.
Seeing Weeha actually trying to pressure Sumail out of the mid once again. He knows he doesn't have like a full advantage now. The bottle is on Sumail.
Sumail is doing very well so far, in my opinion. I think this is, on paper, a DP favored matchup, and there's been no interference from either support in mid, which, well, speak of the devil.
Interference from a support, but he's going to come underneath the sentry ward. It's only got 10 seconds left on it, but the reaction, I don't know if Misery is pinging out thinking he knows there's a ward around here.
I think that is what he is saying. He's trying to get this information by moving. Oh,
the ward's gone now. Sumail's actually going to be a little bit more careful now. But Chris not even coming to help him.
Saw that,
like, Chris actually farming underneath the Dire Observer ward. And I think that's actually the reason why Misery is making a beeline down towards this Crystal Maiden. He knows he's got a kill. He put this ward down when they first came down to contest the rune. So he knows exactly where Crit is moving. He'll come underneath the tower, but Misery, he will take the first blood.
And a bounty rune. Good stuff from Misery. That ward finally paying off. They placed it very early. They do get some good value out of it. Now, that gives Sumail a bit of confidence in the mid lane. He's going to be able to bottle Crow freely, knowing that the courier won't get sniped. He gets some decent CS, and now Zai will look to put a protective ward up for him. We have hit nighttime, so we want to get these wards out against rotations when the vision is at its lowest. Of course, it doesn't fully protect you when there's invisible heroes in the game, and you could always invest into smokes, but as far as Thunderbirds go, their rotation power is not that great early on until Sand King really gets involved. Bounty Hunter is nice for this early harassment and finding this nice pick. When Sumail's level 6, he kind of can't die.
Do Thunderbirds actually rely more on their rotation? Because once you have Exorcism up and running, can it turn into a push play?
Absolutely. Oh, Sumail is not 6 yet, though.
Oh, he can't jump away. The slow is just going to be too much, but maybe, no, he can't do enough damage to get something back against Misery as well as Weeha. So Thunderbirds up at 2-0. And Weeha, the man claiming the last hit in the mid.
And like you said, when Death Prophet hits level 6, they can go for... DP should hit 6 now before Storm because of this kill. And that could give them a secondary opportunity to just go right away, pop the Exorcism, get the kill, and try to push the tower. At the very minimum, they should force EG to do a double rotation, since none of the heroes really can deal with DP on their own. Oh, he got an Invis rune on Weeha as well. This is horrible for Sumail.
They're both on top of him. You even have the Dazzle coming in for the burst heal from the Shadow Wave. Thunderbirds, everything is going their way here.
Great play call here to bring Saksa for this. You're not going to expect the Dazzle to rotate. And they're taking as much advantage as possible of the fact that Sumail hasn't hit level 6 yet. This is probably the last time these two heroes can combine up for a kill until, well, maybe it's possible if we have skill Silence. That's, of course, a play they do have. But for
TZ is
now,
living in fear on the bottom lane.
yeah, that's also a really bad matchup. This early game for Thunderbirds is looking great. They force rotation toward mid from EG because they're taking so much damage on their Stone Spirit that Sand King gets a one-on-one matchup against Spectre, and Spectre's so fragile and weak against this kind of hero, bullying him out.
TZ's actually going home. He doesn't have the life to survive.
Oh, good choice. It looks like Misery might have actually been able to find him there. He gets out in time. So
They're going middle lane. Crit with that quick little haste rune jumping into the mid. They do have the silencer. Weeha can't just Spirit Siphon himself away to victory. And that allows Sumail, 1, to have level 6, and 2, to get a good big kill over on the Death Prophet.
Yeah.
Top lane, a little bit more trouble for the Abaddon. Trying to reach back to his tier 1 tower, able to make it. And Zai also rotates up to the top lane.
big pick for EG, though, to get this comeback in the mid lane. They were losing their mid lane. They were kind of losing all 3 lanes, actually. Abaddon is getting way less than the Sand King, and Luna is also out farming the Spectre. So the early game for Thunderbirds was already starting to look really, really great. This comeback kill is a bit of a breather for them, but of course, you need to keep in mind, Moon Meander is level 5, almost 6 down here. Someone still needs to come and help Arteezy, or he's going to have to go back to base again.
Yep, he's trying to trip Spectral Dagger forward. Crit is on his way, almost trying to force Moon into the engagement. And with the Nova and Frostbite, this should be a return, but Moon, Burrow Strikes out, going into the epicenter. Spill damage with the help of Misery, should be able to get a return kill onto Crit. Bumping Misery up as he hunts Arteezy through the tree line. Arteezy going north
40.
and then daggering away. He doesn't have his TP scroll. He's got 6 stick charges, but now he's on the wrong side of the river and cutting deeper into enemy territory.
This is going to take forever for Arteezy. He has to wait 30 seconds to TP to base.
And then come
and
back
then
out.
walk back to lane. He's basically losing 15 CS right now.
With the 6 stick charges, can you actually TP back to your tier 1 tower?
No, you need to, well, possibly, yeah. He could actually do that and send out a flask. I think that's a better play, to be honest, than going back to base at this point.
But the courier just got used and is sending the
Arcane
ring of
Aura.
regen for Sumail forward.
Yeah, well.
So no joy for Arteezy.
So usually you would say when you trade the Sand King for a Crystal Maiden, it's favorable for EG because they get a core kill for support, but the cost here for the Spectre is way too high. It's almost as if Thunderbirds got 2 kills there.
Arteezy actually went home too, so he didn't try and play around with the tier 1 tower. And this is not looking good for EG's early game, but you still can wait for their power hit. Zai's going to try and play this middle lane with the help of Arteezy. That's one way to get back to the front lines. Haunch yourself in, go for the kill on Weeha. The damage output, however, Sumail must ball lightning himself in deeper. He had the regeneration room, that's what gave him the mana to get there, but they lost Arteezy. Crit's not too healthy either. And they know more. Misery underneath that sentry ward. EG re-engaging, able to kill off Misery, but Resolution lets the lights go. But the creep wave, it soaks up everything. Zai not getting hit by a single beam.
That was so unlucky for Resolution. Generally, you at least hit 1, but all 4 beams there from, or actually all 5 rather, from Eclipse hitting the wrong targets. And Zai can count his lucky stars on that one. And EG, that looked a bit shaky. At the end of the day, they get a couple kills and they get out. But it's at the cost of their bottom tier 1 tower. Arteezy, yes, he was involved, but again, I think he hasn't touched a creep for 2.5 minutes now on the Spectre. He gets a bit of assist gold in the middle. That's nice, but he needs more than this.
So how does EG protect him? Does this become a vision game around the Radiant jungle? Do you have to babysit him with 1 support? I suppose this will help when you can try and get kills up on top lane, but...
To be fair, Resolution did also rotate mid, actually, so he also lost some CS, but look at the creep scores here.
Arteezy's trying to dagger forward and just harass down Suxa, but this is difficult. Zai can't really find the kill on him, and he knows it.
Spectre's just really weak right now. That's
yeah.
Most of the Spectre games we've seen this tournament, Spectre is just not given the perfect early game that it's looking for. It's generally a bad idea to give Spectre free farm unless you have a lineup that can peak early. Arguably, Thunderbirds could do that, and they did for the first short amount of time. Precious Sumail. Oh, speaking of which, he's going to jump in on.
Yeah, going on towards the middle lane. Death Prophet, real trouble, still silenced up, and Weeha will fall. Misery to the neighborhood, and he's starting to prep the tracks. He was actually the man attacking into Crit on the back line, so he wasn't there to help out.
Zai's Riki is really, really important in this game for EG. He's kind of set up everything for them. Every kill they've got on mid has been because of the smoke screen. How many deaths does Weeha have now? He has 3. Sumail only 2, and he got pressured hard in the start, but EG brought him back in the game. Once again, at the cost of Arteezy, but that's something they can maybe deal with now. His Haunt is online again. We'll be getting Urn after a couple more creeps. He probably wants to get involved and get some Urn charges up and running.
Maybe we should start talking about the other side of the RTZ coin, the Resolution side, the one-for-one. Because right now Resolution is #1 in net worth. He's actually bouncing forward with Sumail. But it's the fact that you've got a free farming and leveling up Luna. She TPs around a little bit, but she can bounce off the top lane and give the space for Moon to pick up his Blink Dagger. It looks like Thunderbird's timings and items are looking really good for that 5-man ball into EG.
Absolutely, and the key items in this game have got to be something along the lines of Euls and Force Staffs. That's how you deal with Riki. It's a great way of dealing with the Crystal Maiden. It's also a good way of dealing with Spectre, to be honest. You just want to create some space, buy time, and survive with your heroes.
They're coming for a kill up on top. Zai needs to get this perfect jump. It's going to help when Moon Burrow strikes aggressively forward. Here comes that horn. Arteezy wants the kill, and they don't actually give it to him. Zai is the man who's going to get the last little backstab in onto the SK. Slows down the Blink Dagger and gets Arteezy in a successful engagement.
Still, regardless, it's a very good play for EG. Arteezy doesn't get the kill, but it's a good kill to get for their team. Now, will Thunderbirds try to put some more pressure here? They're looking to go mid.
Well, we've got no Exorcism available, so they can't just force it that way.
Well,
then they're getting flanked. Here comes Universe, crit as well. They go for the Frostbite over on Wee. Sumail jumping forward. They're going to Vortex back in Wee. Need a little bit more damage, but they won't be able to do it. Not while the Shallow Grave is down. But when you let the Frost fall, it will be enough to get 2 kills into Thunderbirds. Moon wants to join the engagement. Burrow strike forward. He only hits creeps, however. No control on the EG heroes. Misery will fall down as well. And Evil Geniuses. It was a casual wraparound, and Thunderbirds sat there and took it.
Once again, the Riki of Zai is playing an incredible game so far. He gets the perfect smoke screen on the Luna. There was no Eclipse for the whole fight. Resolution's in this awkward position where you have to choose between running to the right and casting Eclipse and being out of range of almost everyone, or running left through the entire smoke screen. This is a level 1 smoke screen, mind you. It's still just, the smaller radius makes it a lot weaker than on higher levels, but it's good enough for now. And yep. Thunderbirds might have overstayed their welcome. I actually think that was playable for them, but as you pointed out, with no Exorcism, and if they don't get the Eclipse out, it's too hard.
Yeah, and until they have the Force Staff, that's not going to work for them. And even Luna, you know the Hurricane Pike will come, but because she built the Mask of Madness early on, it's next item Dragonlance, so it's going to take a while before these items come up. We probably thought you were going to get the injection of money once you started bringing down Tier 1 towers. But that's the purpose of having this Death Prophet as well as Luna. It should be something that EG cannot repel.
Damn, Sumail has a lot of CS. It's actually...
He's #1 in the network.
Very surprising. He's got 110 CS minute 13 after dying twice in lane and being involved in 7 kills. That is very impressive play from him. And EG have been making some good moves after what looked like it could have been shaky early on. They've utilized especially the Haunt and the Riki very well, and of course the Storm Spirit following through, kind of come together as a team. And Universe, solid as rock as always, has no deaths on this Abaddon. Generally see other offlane Abaddons in this tournament have 1 or 2 deaths in lane. Kind of overextending a little bit, but he plays it safe.
And Universe has been a rock. Can be a bigger one too once he has the Vlad's up, so then EG's going to have a little bit more sustain when it comes to the engagements. They need that. They still need that for Arteezy, especially when Arteezy, like, he goes for the Urn, the PMS, the phase, then next major item, and it's a long time before he's going to get there. It's the Relic into Radiance. So Sumail, this is his time. Like, if he can control the engagements and just the tempo of this game for the next 10 minutes, once he has that Bloodstone, that'll become a lot easier. But he needs to create the space for the spec.
Absolutely, but it looks like EG has kind of slowed the game down a bit with this couple of aggressive plays. Thunderbirds didn't really find the momentum that they were looking for, so now we get to play a little slower.
Oh, they smoked right on top of the obs. Oh, so this movement, even Zai's actually backing up. He's staying close enough that he could potentially break the smoke, but he doesn't want to break it when he could also just be instantly detected. But do they even bring?
They can use this as a fake play. Okay.
And they got dust on the SK.
Sox is going to see him.
Oh, Zai sees a lot more. He's underneath the sentry ward just on the edge. They don't see him anymore. That's why the dust had to be committed with Sumail. Long jump in, going in for the dazzle, able to find him. And Moon, thinking twice about it all, actually blinked himself away, hence no ability to counter-initiate with Epicenter.
Was a good choice from him. I'm not sure who made the play call to go on the Riki. It's very tempting. You have the sentry in position, but the entire enemy team is missing. And if you start committing spells on the Riki, if you don't burst him, you're just going to get overrun. He uses tricks of the trade, and his team follows in. And they end up just cutting their dazzle, which probably is worth it.
Arteezy changed his item build. He's actually got Blade Mail in his quick buy at the moment. So he's switching from that Radiance. Moon's a little deep up on this top lane. Smoke up, actually on him at the moment. Tries to run away. Spectral Horn going to be used. And then, well, a quick trick to the trade, but that is one very dead Moon. So he's picked up his Blink Dagger, and the first two engagements he's in, he runs away, and then he dies. Not the greatest first reveal for Thunderbirds.
I want to commend EG on how well they're utilizing Spectre. I feel like compared to other teams we've seen in the tournament, they are doing a very good job at using Haunt off cooldown. Arteezy has been in 9 out of 11 kills, so every time there's a Haunt available, he joins in, contributes with what his hero can right now. Obviously, Spectre not the greatest hero at this point in the game, but they're playing to their own strengths. Thunderbirds looking to do the same with this mid push.
And if they can do it. Getting hit by the weave early on, so bring up the armor. EG are not going to engage him. They let the tier 1 tower fall. This time I think they understand there's both Exorcism as well as, wow, really? There's both Exorcism as well as Eclipse up, and they're going to lose their Dazzle. Okay, that's an easier way to take the fight. Keep getting pickoffs on all the sides of the Thunderbirds movement and don't engage the two big cores.
This is kind of a game of warding between Zai and Misery, who can get the better and more impactful wards out that sets up their team. Zai with these aggressive wards in the enemy jungle have been really useful. Miseries haven't paid off as much, basically. Big part of the reason being that Sand King hasn't really been able to set up his team as much as, EG just have more options for engaging. Both the Storm and the Riki can jump with a Haunt and find a pick anywhere. So if Thunderbirds split up, they're going to die. And if they 5-man at the same time, EG generally sees their movements. They tried for the smoke play that got countered. And then, you kind of have to calm down, chill a bit, farm up some more, and that's the type of game EG want to play. Basically, the Riki is enabling greed.
Oh, jump, Sumail, so long, and he'll get in. Nice and quick. Misery's been sitting there for the last 1-2 minutes, just trying to get that little bit of extra farm to bring him closer towards his mech. And Sumail sees the perfect opportunity for the jump. And this is now 14 Bloodstone charges. We'll start the count. Let's see just how far Sumail gets. And where does he go next? Like, is it going to be disable items? Is Orchid really the play when you're going to have probably both Manta and Newell Scepter? For the, one each for the cores of Thunderbirds?
Orchid is really good against Dazzle, but at the same time, he could maybe just jump and kill him off. Alternatively, generally you think one of two ways with Storm in this position. Either I'm owning, I want to keep owning. If you're having a great game, that's generally the mentality, so then you buy Orchid. The other one is, I'm having a hard game, I need something more defensive, then you buy Ewells. Those are I want to say 3/4 of games, if not more, that is the next item, one of those two. And in this game, I think Sumail is in a great position. Why not just go for the Orchid and keep the ball rolling?
Well, he's got it in the quick buy, so he definitely is going to be doing that. A little bit twitchy from Thunderbirds. They're being watched by this Observer Ward just on the bottom, and while they were doing that, they thought EG knew something more, and they actually dusted on top of their own shrine. They're really, really uncertain where Zai is moving around.
This is a risky play from Thunderbirds, going for the Abaddon. That's just not going to happen at all. Oh, just a bit of harassment. They tried to probably force a TP here, just try to bait out a bit of response from EG. Unsuccessful, however. I believe Crit was already there and didn't TP in.
Yeah, he was just sitting behind. Yep. Zai's looking for his opportunity, and they know they can always bring in the numbers. So you got 3 up on the top. We already saw Nature's Prophet being effective earlier today. It's the same kind of thing. You can always bring the extra players to the north. And Zai, well, who's he want to go on? Weeha's the primary target. There goes your jump. They need a stun, however. Crit's not going to be in range in time. Neither is Sumail. So a good TP out will keep him alive, but they'll still lose the tier 1.
That's a big commitment from EG, however. They use Haunt, they use all of Storm's mana. He does have Arcane Aura and Arcane Rune, so able to quickly get his mana back. That 14 charge Bloodstone. But Thunderbirds are trying to take whatever opportunity they can out of this. They know that with Haunt on cooldown, this fight is a lot more difficult for EG to take, so they go for this push, knowing that EG's lineup is pretty bad at killing Roshan. So usually when you go for this bottom area as the Dire, you're worried that the enemy team can go simply trade off. But that is just not an option right now for Evil Geniuses. So tier 1 for tier 2 trade is eventually what we're going to get to see here. And Thunderbird's probably pretty happy with this.
Yeah, it's building Resolution up to a point where his team fight's going to be really, really strong. Very difficult to kill off the Luna. He didn't actually build into the Hurricane Pike. He's still looking for the Manta. But that's more than likely because he's going to be predicting Sumail's Orchid.
Misery loves company, so they're going to group up and smoke as 5.
And go Roshan.
And go Roshan. That's a good place to have a little bit of a get-together.
Oh, Exorcism it up. And they're going to commit with the Weave as well. As far as Radiant Vision goes, they don't see anything around the pit. But that's the reason why Zai is coming in. Where is the Sentry Ward? Where is the detection? Zai's going to put down the smoke screen. Roshan is dropping down to 1600. Zai is just waiting with the smoke screen down. They know it. There goes the Sentry Ward. So Zai finally visible. Moon gets a double barrow strike out. The jump forward. It will be the Aegis Immortal into the hands of Resolution. And with the Eclipse falling down, Zai falls. But he's the only one down at the moment. They want more with the track up the hill. They'll secret Moon again for the barrow strike. Able to catch out the Crystal Maiden. Samel can't really do much to stop it. It's Misery as the bounty hunter, picking up the double kill after Roshan was properly killed by the Dire side. So Thunderbirds get exactly what they want.
This
couple
is
of kills and the Aegis.
100% textbook stuff of how you take advantage of the bit of information you're given. They know that Haunt is down. They know that they have the better Roche lineup. They know that they got away with getting this tier 2 tower bottom. They're just using every little bit of advantage that they have at this point in time. If Haunt is off cooldown, this could be a completely different story because EG could just pop the Haunt, get full vision of every other hero, isolate the one they want, and build the fight on their terms. But with RTC unable to do so, Thunderbirds this time around get all of their spells off very well. And that wasn't even perfect. They didn't have a sentry down early, so Zai did get in for the smoke screen. With an earlier sentry, maybe he just dies and the Roche falls. But you could argue it's maybe better this way. They got a bonus kill on crit like this.
Yep, they actually made EG believe they had the fight. Oh, so much patience from Thunderbirds. Smoke screen went down. Did they freak out? No, they just took it one kill at a time.
And credit to Moon Meander in this fight. I think he had a bit of a rough start on Sand King, but playing it cool in that fight, finding the key stuns that he needed to, and playing around the smoke screen
kill
very
at the moment. They're hunting into the Dire jungle. And they would love to find a target, but unfortunately for them, like the Dire are already predicting some kind of scan. Okay, they're going to find one. It's going to be Saksa. Jump forward from Sumail. 15 Bloodstone charges. It's been a while since he's added an extra digit to that. But it will allow them now to force into the tier 1 tower in mid. No fortification available, and Thunderbirds are in no position to defend.
It's extremely hard to play Dazzle in this game. He has to spend so much gold on detection. And he can just jump at any time.
They still have that Observe Ward. It's been up for so long. So Misery gets the silence off Sumail, jumping forward, but the physical damage will be more than enough. Universe will find that kill, bringing him to a 4-0-4 on the Abaddon.
And they don't even need to use the Haunt here. Evil Geniuses are actually in a good position to look for this bottom tier 1. Have Haunt available. Relic is on the courier for Arteezy, so 1,000 gold to go for him for that big Radiance upgrade. And that's when things get scary for Thunderbirds, in my opinion. First of all, the Haunt is going to show them where Bounty Hunter is. There's going to be an illusion spawning next to him. They're going to cancel out the Sand King's Blink Dagger. And with Dazzle being this poor, the Spectre alone can force Grave and probably just kill him off after. And without the Grave, Stormspear is going to have a great time. Now they have two options of dealing with the fights, especially when his Orchid comes up. Oh, top lane crit is in absolutely no man's land.
Thankfully, there's the Yule Scepter after the Barrows drive from Moon, again focusing on creeps instead of heroes.
Usually these kills aren't that expensive, you know. Sometimes you risk it with a support. You're like, okay, I'm going to go top and push until I get killed and we get some information about what's going on the map. A lot of the times, a position 4 or 5 will do this and you're like, okay, that's fair enough. We got a 4 or 5-man rotation to kill our CM. There's trap. It's a lot more expensive to buy this information for Evil Geniuses in this game. And in a way, maybe they should have predicted this. They still have the tier 1 tower top. We know there's an Aegis on Luna. It's the most likely next play for Thunderbirds to just go up here, group up, and take 2 towers. Yeah. I'm curious if they want to go high ground now, because they have Reave, Aegis, Solar Crest on the Death Prophet, and level 2 Exorcism.
If EG want to try and go for the trade-off, maybe it's worth it just to nudge the tier 3 tower to bring him back. But EG's going for the tier 2, and Crystal Maiden's on the defense job.
Yep. It's a risky play to go high ground here. You don't have a big advantage, but you do have the Aegis, and you still know that Radiance isn't online. Oh, well, now it is. But at the time, the information that they have was that Arteezy was not ready with the Radiance. So looks like Thunderbirds more than likely made a good read here, after all, to not go up.
Yeah, might be good. Get the BKBs up, get the safety onto your Luna. Actually, Resolution switched. He had BKB in his quick buy. Now he's looking at the Skadi instead. As opposed to going for immunity against... Well, I suppose you've already got some level of escape from the Storm's initiation. What more would a BKB buy you?
An ability to use your spells against Riki is Pretty valuable.
That is a nice thing. Not going to lie.
Smoke screen is scary. Oh, here comes Sumail.
Long jump, looking for it again. Dazzle, 4-star up. The Orchid won't be enough to kill him. And this is a way where he can actually hold on to his shallow grave. Moon again missing the Burrow Strike as Sumail hiding in the trees.
That's actually probably a kill if they hit that Sand King stun. Sumail used so much mana on this engage, and he can be happy that that didn't turn into a fight, to be honest.
There's Exorcism as well as Eclipse available.
Yeah, they are not going to need... Oh, actually, wow.
They're going to commit it. They want the tier 2 tower. It's the last remaining outer tower for Evil Geniuses. Question is, do you really push any further? Because now your Aegis is gone. It just timed out.
Oh, they definitely can't go further than this.
They have to finish the tier 2 tower, though.
Yeah. Well,
Or do they just leave it?
Wee doesn't feel confident.
The Lunar Illusion is currently killing it, and they're going for the kill. EG want the kill. That's why Storm Spirit, long jump forward, going after the Death Prophet. That actually, will it be enough with a Yule Scepter up? He may have enough time to get the life back in from the Exorcism. No, it will not be. He will fall.
Key Orchid coming out from Sumail on the Dazzle. As talked about earlier. That's the problem. He wants to grave the DP, but simply can't get it off. The Haunt immediately gives them vision of where the Dazzle is. Easy click for Sumail to get that Orchid off in two kills and a tier 2, more than likely.
Now EG, they're the ones to push.
Yep.
Zai is just roaming around trying to find anyone. Moon is in no position to fight this one because he doesn't have the support. Resolution moved up to the top lane to let his Illusion start doing the push. So maybe we start looking around the Roshan timer. It will be a rather quick spawn. It's going to be in the first minute of the 3 that it will spawn up. And we'll see who that really does favor if Thunderbirds go in again and try and look for Roshan.
Well, Resolution is getting really, really big. And Luna is a great hero at fighting in Roshan as long as you can get your Eclipse off. So once again, look toward that Riki. Manta can counter the Orchid of the Storm and the Frostbite, so really should have no real problem apart from dealing with the Riki. Do they have a 4-step apart from Sand King? That's the only one for now. That is one way of making sure Luna gets her ulti off. But you generally don't really want to use your 4-step aggressively in this game, I feel. You need to have to save a support or even Sand King himself with that force.
But that's why I'm interested, like why bypass the Hurricane Pike and decide to finish the full Skadi instead.
That's true. I think Pike could have also been a very nice choice here. Absolutely.
Because there's no way Dazzle's going to find the money for anything. He's having a hard enough time, and now you get a Diffusal Blade up on Zai. The Riki starts progressing his way into being that 4th core for EG.
That's a very big item. Can purge off the Yules of Death Prophet. And they can kill her off very swiftly. Storm's going to jump Death Prophet. She's going to self-Yules. They purge it, Orchid the Dazzle, and just kill DP. They need bigger items on Weehaw right now. The Blink Dagger is very different than what we usually see, and it's more of an aggressive approach.
Yeah.
It can also be used defensively, of course. If they see the Storm Jump coming, he can maybe disengage. Of course, hoping maybe to play the Yules into Blink, but as mentioned, that Diffusal Blade's going to put a quick
That's a really
stop to
good. That's a really good Dire Observer ward. But at the same time, EG just put down their own Radiant one inside the jungle.
Haunt.
So if they want to jump forward, yeah, Haunt will be used. At the same time, defensive Weave comes out, and EG really thought Thunderbirds were a lot closer, and Thunderbirds instantly smoke.
It's the obvious play here. I think EG are going to see this one coming. I was expecting that if Thunderbirds have a smoke, this is the time you want to burn it.
What's the time for this? Roshan just spawned. If they look in there with the Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet, they could potentially kill off Roshan before EG knows it, but no. They're moving towards the mid lane. There's still a tower within deny range. It's on 51 HP, and Crit is finally going to take care of it. Goodbye, Zai, walking in through the back lines. CM denies the tower, and yep, they're coming mid. The Arcane Rune has worn off now, but there's no Riki for 40 seconds, and that's after he just bought the Diffusal Blade. So here they come. Exorcism up, the Weave again, boost up the armor, but where's your creep wave? It doesn't exist just yet.
They don't need it right now. They just need to make sure that the Death Prophet does not get burst down. Nice damage coming out here from EG.
Mech already triggered off by Misery. The life is going to be there. Resolution just had his Skadi arrive as well. And with the creep wave here, they can push in, and they can push in pretty hard. Arteezy moves to the front line. He's actually, he's going on Resolution. Same with Sumail. They want that kill. A quick Yule Scepter up. Resolution can't get the distance. Or can he? No, Sumail gets the last hit in. Weehaw split 3 ways with a Cypher, but he just can't suck enough as he'll get hold in position. Okay, Moon, is this his time? No, Sumail just ball landings up. He's looking for another kill. One more attack on the Moon. It's not enough. 33 HP. We split up again. Back in towards the Death Prophet on the Weehaw. Universe will find this one. They hold their ground. Sumail once more, but he can't find Moon. Moon TP's out, and Misery is invisibly running away.
Very nice play here from EG in the base. This is how you try to defend against this kind of pushing lineup. Slowly but steadily whittling them down with Crystal Nova, Aphotic Shield, Mist Coil, just using all of the tools you have. And the moment Thunderbirds have 2 heroes on half health, you bring in the Storm. He even got a double ball lightning hit. And Thunderbirds, as you said, had they only checked the Roshan pit when they ran past it, they might have changed their mind and gone for that first. As that probably would have just been a clean pick. There's no Ricky alive. He didn't have buyback. But now instead, EG gets this. This is probably the biggest minute of the game that we just saw here. This is a big game changer. Sumail 21 Bloodstone charges and Aegis.
Let's have a look at the fight again. So this is that Sumail jump in. Thought for a moment you get more damage out from the Exorcism, but it just wasn't there. And there was no heal. Misery burned the mech before this fight began.
I think in addition to that, the BKB reveal took them by surprise. They didn't know that this BKB was available on Sumail. So Sand King was ready to do an immediate counter jump on the Storm. Maybe Thunderbirds were playing on that idea. Okay, we're going to get a bit low. Storm will jump. Be ready with Sand King. Instant counter jump. We know that they can't go in with the Haunt since that's on cooldown. But, you know, there was a BKB in the way. And now this game is looking very good for Evil Geniuses. It's not like they have a massive advantage. We're talking 4K gold. The experience actually massive. Okay,
yeah,
that
the
is
experience
massive.
is a lot higher.
That's kind of crazy. But it's more just the flow of the game, you know. As you just have this feel in this game that going later, the Storm and Spectre will be a really big problem.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, if Thunderbirds are able to find a way to win a fight, they got a lot of push power between the Death Prophet as well as the Luna.
For sure.
So there is a way if they can take the engagement. But for now, they're out of position. Sumail and Universe, they enter the base up on the top lane. Saxa is the only one really in position. Moon's coming in, but he's also been feeling very underwhelming for his influence in these fights.
They're going to need BKBs. Nice courier snipe here by Misery. It's a bit of a bonus for the Dire squad. But you need BKBs now as Thunderbirds, and they've realized that both Luna and DP have queued them up. And that will make the fights a lot harder for EG. Almost no matter what they can buy for the same amount of gold that they're going to be earning in the same time frame, Thunderbirds get the higher impact items. Yep. The EG lineup actually sucks against BKB. They're really weak. Storm loses a lot of damage against it. Spectre loses a lot of damage against it. Both Desolate and Radiance doesn't work. Ricky loses his Diffusal. It's a very good pickup.
So here's the question, does EG just disengage? Sumail jumping in, maybe he can bait out the BKBs that way, having Zai being aggressive.
It's one option, but you have a mid tower on 170 health. And Thunderbirds ideally want to go for a smoke play that sets them up to push mid.
Exactly
right now
they
see Arteezy on their wards and actually just barely avoid the smoke of EG.
They just weaved and
this
managed
is awkward.
to dodge it. They're gonna find Arteezy. The smoke will break. Misery gets the vision.
Oh
no! Moon misses the Burrow Strike and comes Sumail! Looking for the opening, the Eclipse will fall. Where is the glaive damage? Arteezy still alive for the moment. They're probably not for much longer. Misery, he will finally fall. Moon pushing himself up the hill, but Sumail, under the cover of his own BKB, has the life. Weeha trying to man this up, but he can't get out. He will be able to find at least one kill on the support, but he cannot survive the wrath of EG. Sumail and Universe, the Immortals, will survive, and somehow Resolution said, you know what? I'm out, boys. I managed to survive this. I got a couple of kills. I ain't dying for this.
I thought that was going to end way worse for Thunderbirds. They end up salvaging this with a 4-for-3 with a couple of track kills, so at the end of the day, a fairly even fight with the gold outcome. Obviously, XP should be favoring EG a bit there, but that Sand King stun is going to bother him a lot, because this fight without Haunt, Spectre insta-dying, could have been the moment for Thunderbirds to get a lane of racks, actually.
They just didn't have the vision instantly. Like, their only observer what they had was closer back towards the shrine. It didn't see past that troublesome tree and into the Radiant jungle. They knew he was roughly there, but it wasn't enough to hit the stun.
It was a nice play from Arteezy as well, sidestepping to the right. Usually, you know, the common trajectory that you're going to be moving in when you go to the side is that you will try to create as much distance to the enemy team as possible. So when Moon Meander has to go for the blind stun, Arteezy walks towards him so that there is the chance that the stun will miss. And Arteezy also knows in this moment that Moon Meander has to make the play fast, because his own team is coming in and Thunderbirds probably expect that. As a result, we're going to see it here. So Arteezy breaks the smoke, runs up, and now he's going to step right just a little bit to dodge this Sand King stun. And it makes a big difference that he gets haunts out. Of course, he does die here, but Arteezy's damage in that fight was really significant. And look at Saxa just dying every fight. It's just merciless. Playing Dazzle in this game is an absolute nightmare. He's playing against two of the worst heroes he can face, Storm Spirit and Ricky. So Saxa, honestly, him being 0-7 and 8, not too bad.
Oh, look at that. You see it from Moon. You see it from, he knows. He knows he just got... Well, he got schooled by Arteezy.
He's just not having one of his best games, and this is where it's important that you don't lose focus on the bigger plays. You know, sure, you messed up. It wasn't the end of the world. The fight didn't go as it could have, but there's going to be more fights ahead of him. Next time, just keep a bit cooler. Don't get tilted.
Watch this timing on Samel. He's got 20 seconds before this Aegis will time out, so he wants to be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, he's got a lot of money. A full Bloodthorn done, and he's already staring down the barrel of a Shiva's 1,400 away from completing that as well. And then he's almost 6-slotted.
Shiva is incredible in this game. So much of Thunderbird's damage is physical. Of course, Luna is one of those special carries that have a lot of magic damage output as well, but Samel has the BKB against that. So once at BKB, killing Samel is really difficult. They have no BKB piercing stun or anything of the like.
They're coming again. Misery underneath the sentry ward. And, well, he doesn't know. Here comes the jump forward. Resolution will arrive too, but Samel, he already has the stun with the shallow grave up. Misery will be able to survive this, and Samel wants to stand his ground to blink forward. Weeha just goes in with the exorcism up. With the help of Resolution, the damage may just be enough. EG's on the retreat, but fighting underneath their shrine. The life is there. It's Crit who's on the run. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off at the moment. Zion the back lines, making the Thunderbirds look behind themselves. Arteezy just TPs away, following HYHY's instructions, stays in the trees, and Zion, where's your detection? The TP, well, you don't see him. He's out, he's gone.
That was one big thing we didn't cover from the previous big team fight, the 4-for-3 exchange, was that there was a gem turned around on EG. They got the gem of Moon Meander, so the gem unavailable for Thunderbirds in this time frame, and they really need that. This Riki is being an absolute pestilence. And in this fight, Eclipse didn't come out. This is one of the problems that you have when you go Mask of Madness in a hero like Luna. He wants to use the Mask of Madness to get into the fight. Couldn't use Eclipse for those full 8 seconds and ends up not even getting it off the whole fight.
I'm wondering if Eclipse is even going to be enough. I'm looking at Arteezy staring down the barrel of having a full heart. The survivability on the EG heroes is greater than the damage output coming from Thunderbirds.
Everything matters.
Done nothing. Dazzle, like his Shadow Wave damage, you're not going to count that as enough. Bounty Hunter throwing around a couple Shuriken tosses. This just isn't enough. That you need to have more damage on the Luna.
Yeah, you do, eventually, but Eclipse is still playing a really big role right now, and not getting it off is a big loss. Of course, the later the game goes, the weaker it gets. I'm curious to see what Arteezy is thinking of next after this heart.
He may have the other protection. Like, I'm looking at Universe, looking at his Aghanim Scepter is 1,400 away.
Yeah, it's a big item.
Yep.
I feel like I talk about that every single game I cast a bat in, but honestly, it's incredible. This
The reason why this hero is being one of the most picked up heroes as Smail goes for the long jump. Where's the save? The smoke screen is down. Resolution gets the BKB up, but he's just so low. The physical damage may be enough. The Shallow Grave. It'll be there in time. Now the attention turns towards Misery. Moon creates some space with his Burrow Strike, but Misery is down. The Shrine's trigger as the Haunt will allow EG to go up high ground against the Tier 3 tower. Weeha wants them out of his home, but don't go out too far. In fact, they may have to. The Tier 2 tower is where EG is shifting their attention now.
Tower's gone. They really don't want to fight this. Resolution used this BKB. They have a dead Bounty Hunter. Sure, he might not be the strongest teamfight hero right now, but the tracks are actually playing a big role in Thunderbird's ability to stay on target with the Death Prophet, especially. That movement speed bonus pretty much gives Weeha haste every single fight. Good play from EG here.
Most of it. Like, Weeha's going in. The second he triggers that exorcism, he wants to be right on top of any target he wants to kill, and he's looking for the backliners.
I think getting in on the Maiden really quick and just getting rid of her is very nice. That's one option. The other option is to lay in hard into, well, yeah, where are you going to go on? Like, the Spectre is too hard to kill now. Yeah, Abaddon you really don't want to go on. Storm you're not touching, and Riki you're not finding. So, well, kind of limited on his options in this game.
They just sentryed up as well. They missed the Observer Ward. The camp is blocked, and their 2 sentries are too far away. Roshan is a lot longer in his spawn time. It's just over 2 minutes of the 3 potential. And they're trying to work it out. Like, something is not right. Maybe this is one option they can go for when they find Arteezy a little bit far out, but no, that ain't an option.
It gets tricky for Thunderbirds. We didn't really talk too much about Arteezy's Blade Mail, but the reason he gets it is that both Luna and Death Prophet has abilities that, yes, you can control Exorcism, but at the same time the fights get very chaotic. You need to be very careful and you need to switch away targets from him unless you want to take a lot of physical damage with this. And then you have a spell like Eclipse where you have no choice. Obviously, when Luna's BKB is running, doesn't care too much about that. There's still the physical damage, all the bouncing glaives. It's a constant flow of damage that Arteezy can bring to the fights with this Blade Mail.
And that's why you switch it up. That's why you get Resolution the Satanic, but he just got scouted out. If he really goes down here, this is going to be a huge problem. Triggers the BKB, needs to use the Satanic as well, get that life back out of EG, but he has to run further away. Arteezy doesn't keep up with the chase. Instead, they turn their attention towards Weeha with an Exorcism. He tries to as much damage as possible, and it's working for the moment. He's holding his ground under the cover of the BKB, which will wear off in just a second, which is right now. Moon pulled back in the Shuttergrave. The perfect home from Zuxa, but we're again into the Spectral Horn. Will it be enough? You've lost 2, you've lost 3, a triple kill for Arteezy, and they look towards the mid with 4 down for Thunderbirds. Only the Death Prophet has buyback, but without Exorcism, she's not going to do a hell of a lot.
They are so limited in fights when Resolution has to back off. This entire fight is 4 and 5, basically. Rezo, sure, he survives using the Satanic and gets out to safety, but can't contribute anything to the fight. Weeha's already committed in, can't really go back. And this could be the end of game number 1 here. EG will at least be getting 2 lanes.
And Zai, he's already looking to initiate up on top of Resolution. The life is just being drained from the Luna. Nothing she can do, and GG, well played. Evil Geniuses take game 1 of this best of 3 against Thunderbirds.
Of their crowd cheers. The trophy awaits the winner just a few days away, but we are into our draft for game number 2, EG versus Thunderbirds.
So this time we're gonna see the Riki banned out. Seems like Thunderbird, even though they try to counter it with some bounty hunter, they feel like it's not really possible to counter a Riki. So just gonna get rid of that. It's very hard to play against this pesky vision hero. It's like a moving ward.
Oh yeah.
And it's not only just a moving ward, it's a moving ward that will kill you if he finds you. So kind of gotta go.
It's interesting they banned the Naga this time too. I feel like that's something that we see Thunderbirds Misery do. Like they maybe go down the game, now they're in like the more important game for them. They're facing elimination. They often go back to Resolution's Naga.
Yeah, and they're thinking about the illusion-based heroes. Like EG is actually really bad against these illusion-based heroes. If you look at like their past history, how they lose is to Alka and Nagas. But this time they're gonna have to leave the Beastmaster in the pool and give it to Thunderbirds. Maybe we might see an Alchemist from EG themselves. I think it's a very strong hero against Beastmaster. These Illusion, Radiance heroes. Really like that. Or maybe even a Spectre once again from EG, since it worked out quite well last game.
Yeah, I feel the Spectre saying if they want it, they almost have to maybe first stage pick it, because we're seeing a lot of targeted bans.
Alright, never mind. They left IO in the pool, and EG are just going to take it. You know, you're 1 game up, why not, right?
And they've done that a lot. It's been banned an awful lot against them, both here and at DAC. Didn't get a chance to play it. Whenever they've not had it banned against them, they've generally picked it.
Right.
And generally won with it as well.
Yeah, and we actually saw it when they played, who was that? Was it Faceless they played with the IO? Where he had all these amazing relocate plays. I think it was Faceless.
I'm blanking. I think so though.
Yeah.
IG?
IG? Oh yeah, it was IG. It was a very close game. Very close game. They almost 2-0'd IG there. And his IO plays were spectacular. And this time they're going to get the Treant Protector instead of a Riki. You know what? Treant very similar to Riki. Maybe he can't solo kill you, but equally annoying and a moving ward. So, how will Thunderbirds react?
Seems like we've gone back in time. I remember EG picking IO Treant Protector a long time ago. Treant was different.
That was the PPD Treant era.
I wonder if they're considered the Invoker right now. Okay, no, they're going to go for a support pickup instead, not the double cores first phase. Rubik, pretty decent versus Tree. You can steal his living armor, use it for yourself, or overgrowth in a team fight. That could really turn something. Against IO, it's not really anything. Just the wash there.
How much emphasis do you feel you need to put on counter? Like you see an IO Treant, do you think you need to pick like cores that can kill the IO, like your Spectre type heroes? Do you need to pick cores that can break the living armor? Or are you just not thinking about that in drafting for your own draft?
In a way, they both counter them, right? If you have Ember Spirit or Spectre who has Radiance or Flame Guard, they're going to counter both the living armor and IO's healing abilities. If you have all these like dot damage on IO, he can't use Bottle to heal up his cores. So I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to take either Ember, Spectre, something along those lines.
And Beastmaster's already pretty good at dealing with living armor.
Right.
So many units and fast attack speed.
And the bird is going to be very useful at finding the IO as well, so you can just jump him, get that relocate out of the fight. Very important.
So what do you think are the heroes that they should pair up with the Wisp, if any? Do you think you need it as a mana battery for like Storm or Medusa, like the older partners like CK, for example, or it just doesn't matter at all anymore?
I don't think EG necessarily think about it as just an amplifying hero. They think about like how they can abuse the map control with it. So they will try to get some heroes who can catch enemies, some solid stuns, and then teleport in with whatever they can possibly get and do that. And early game, they're gonna do a lot of rotations with teleports and bottles and just try to turn some fights. We talked about how EG is a reactionary team, and early game IO is like the king of reaction. If somebody gets gone on, he can TP in, heal them up, turn the fight.
Yeah, last time they played it, it was with two cores that don't even have any obvious synergy, Clinks and Invoker. The hero that did maybe is the Beastmaster, which is the stun pick-off hero you mentioned, where Beastmaster finds a kill, relocate in, and you can set up some of those ganks.
And actually, Thunderbirds will decide to ban the Ember themselves. A bit weird, but EG is going to have to pick up like the hero first, and they might be afraid that EG will get it. It's a very good pairing with the IO. If you have Ember mid one-on-oneing and he gets high levels of Flame Guard, if IO comes in, tethers him up, you're most likely going to get a free kill. Slark banned out.
It's a pretty signature resolution hero. It's always been something they'll often pick in some clutch games, and very good against living armor as well with the Dark Pact. Good at finding the IO in the backlines with his Shadow Blade.
Yeah, Arteezy has also played Slark a couple of times in this game. If you look at like the bans, you can see how both teams are banning heroes that they themselves play, because they understand the power of these heroes, and they know if it goes into the wrong hands, what they're capable of doing.
Well, the other hero we've seen a bit is the Spectre, but that's going to be left in the pool as they ban Batrider instead. That's kind of that Beastmaster, Batrider-esque hero that finds a pick-off, you have the relocate in, so targeting some of those catch heroes for the offlane, because neither support is necessarily great at finding those catches. I mean, Trink can find heroes, but he can't really start all too well.
Actually, now that I do think about it, Triet might just be enough, because that one stun into an overgrowth, that's a pretty long duration disable for any core hero with the IO to be able to get kills on. So maybe, okay, now they got a Legion Commander as well, another catch hero for that purpose, for the IO. And also, when IO pairs up with the Legion into the offlane, it's a lot of sustain with the heal that she provides as well.
Yeah, I wonder how you approach this safe lane for Thunderbirds. Treant, Legion Commander, potential dual lane. Maybe Treant's helping the safe lane since you've got IO, but even an IO Legion, with any support for a Legion, even Legion by himself is really difficult to zone out. And Rubik is not a hero that's going to be good at dealing with that Legion.
The Rubik cannot handle the pressure from any three of those heroes at the moment. So they're going to need to have a very powerful safe lane core here. Maybe even a Timbersaw could be really good actually, since they have already picked 3 strength heroes. And if they would decide to try and pressure that lane, a Timber's not going to care.
I don't know if they pick those sort of heroes generally though for resolution.
Right. That's
basically,
yeah, because he's more of the traditional carry kind of player.
I mean, you don't really want like maybe some of his traditional like Terrorblades is not good against Legion. That's like instant illusion clear.
Yep.
So probably saying less on their mind, but Phoenix, some team fight, possibly suggesting something that can also back up like a big tanky frontline carry. The Phoenix Medusa always comes to mind as well.
One thing that concerns me is that since they've picked the Phoenix and the Rubik, Misery is not going to be playing this melee roaming, you know, bruising kind of support. Now they just have these like 2 long-ranged heroes. It's a bit awkward, I think, when it comes to Thunderbird's playstyle.
This is the first time Evil Geniuses have played Legion Commander at the Kiev Major as well. They only played it once at DAC. And won with it.
Still could be room for Meepo for Thunderbirds. So I think about it. With the Beastmaster and the Phoenix sitting behind and all this, I mean, they don't have like the best heroes versus Meepo at all.
Those 3 are all very bad against
IO, IO's definitely not going to do too well. Treant could be okay if they have the damage. Because we'll have a very strong lockdown for him.
If they go Thunderbirds want the Meepo, they need it now.
Yeah, exactly. Because last game it was 5th man. If they go off that, they got to expect, hey, we can't get a 5th pick Meepo. Also, you're going to pick 4th and 5th directly in a row, so giving them a Meepo info doesn't really change too much.
Right. The Legion. Oh, Troll Warlord. Okay.
Good for killing the egg. You've got Battle Trance.
Well, it's also a very strong laning hero as well. But yeah, the egg most likely
Medusa.
the biggest reason why they would think about the troll first.
Yeah.
So Medusa, a hero that will help the Phoenix be able to team fight. If they ever decide to try and go on the egg, she's going to be able to just pop that out and protect it.
So they actually, last time they ran this lineup with these same 4 heroes was versus VJ, and they actually put Medusa in the safe lane, which is most of the time when we see the Phoenix Medusa pairing, the Medusa is in the mid lane. So that's a little bit different for them.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they're trying to, you know, bait EG into thinking it's a mid Medusa, put a safe lane, and then get the meeple. Perhaps not so good against, you know, whirling axes and things, but I can still see it work in this kind of game. They do have sufficient lockdown on Thunderbird's side.
And they ban a mid hero, so I believe EG have that draft in mind with, 4 of the exact same 5 heroes being picked up.
Is just Beastmaster enough of an amplify for Medusa? Like, I'm worried about Medusa's damage output, especially versus like the sustain from Wisp and Tree, and no like Drought Aura, no Venge Aura, no Helmet Dominator Carrier, no Doom. Like
well, the thing is, EG also don't have sufficient damage apart from just single target, right? The 2 supports don't really provide damage on their own. They need to amp someone else to do the damage. So it's gonna be a puck for the mid lane. I like it. I think it's a good team fight control, and in this kind of game, the puck is very difficult for EG to kill. All they have is one duel or an overgrowth, which is difficult to hit on a puck. And since Beastmaster is like a pseudo carry kind of hero, because he takes a lot of farm, does a lot of physical damage, you don't really have to think about having another carry on the mid lane in this situation.
Puck's a carry with his 25.
Even before the
420.
25, I saw like the pucks we're seeing who go for this like blink and then back into the Midas are getting a ton of farm right now.
Oh
Wow.
yeah,
Signature hero.
Classic.
This is your favorite matchup right here.
That is my favorite matchup.
This is like best mid matchup in Dota right here. Quat versus Puck.
Very entertaining.
And 2 great players at that in that mid matchup, Sumail versus Weeha.
That's a fantastic, mouth-watering matchup to look forward to. Let's do some predictions. Gods, we'll start with you.
I'm feeling EG after the Game 1 victory, getting the IO in Game 2, and I think they've got some really strong lanes with the Legion Commander, the Troll who's good. All 3 of their cores are fantastic laning heroes, so I think they can survive the strong Thunderbirds early game pressure.
I want to go with Thunderbirds again. I think they have a draft that's much more suited for this particular patch. They had, Luna last game, which isn't particularly good. Same with the Sand King offlane this game, more meta.
Give me game 3. Thunderbirds.
All right. Thunderbirds are go. Okay. Well, they're dreaming of a 3rd game here, and I can't say I don't disagree with them. I would like a 3rd game as well, and I'm sure our commentary team would too. They are ready and waiting to bring you game number 2 in our 3rd series of the day, EG versus Thunderbirds.
It is time to get game 2 underway. Evil Geniuses going up against Thunderbirds EG. Sind, they're halfway there.
Yeah, they got 1 win out of 2. That's what you need in a best of 3 to advance. You need 2 wins.
Yes.
Simple calculus. Yeah.
This is why you get paid the big bucks.
However, I am a bit skeptical about this game. I don't particularly like EG's draft in this game. I think it's going to be a bit awkward for them to play. It seems a little bit halfway there.
Could you say they're living on a prayer?
I didn't have anything better than that for them. Whereas I really like Thunderbird's lineup in this one. I think it's very nicely well-rounded, good amount of catch, good amount of laning, good amount of team fight. And when it comes to EG, I feel like there's a bit of pressure on them, in my opinion, in the early game to win this laning stage. Make use of the IO Treant to put some pressure, try to give Sumail a good start on his Queen of Pain, very snowball-reliant hero who was their last pick, but is kind of decently countered here. There's Primal Roar. I think Puck is a pretty good matchup against Quap overall, both in lane and in the game. Rubik, the free blink steal, the instant lift. The tools are there for Thunderbirds. So in this draft, I'm definitely favoring them. But EG, if they snowball it nicely, this could work. This is not the way you start a snowball, though.
No, when Crit just gets thrown back in by telekinesis. Misery is the first man on the board, and Phoenix will take first blood.
Weehaw will take this rune and head in towards the middle. So Thunderbirds placing 4 heroes there. Now, generally, it has been common for the mid laner to take the other rune and let this rune go to the carry. But Puck is different because it can travel as far as it can with Illusory Orb. You can still get into mid in time to block the wave. It would be a similar logic if they had a Queen of Pain. He could have taken the rune, blinked in toward the mid. And nice idea for Thunderbirds. I think that worked out nicely, gave them the numbers advantage, and completely caught EG off guard. They were not ready for 4 heroes to be there.
Yeah. So this is the way you do it. When you don't have phase shift, the way to dodge Shadow Strike with Orb, but you still didn't do it.
So this is, in other words, not the way you do it.
No, no. This is not how we do it.
This is the way you try it. It's a bit awkward, though. You need to be fairly fast because you don't want to just waste your orb. Throw it when he's animation canceling or something. And
this top lane seems to be a little bit more difficult for Moon. Like, Crit's going to come in here. At least he doesn't have the Nature's Guys. He went for the lead seed at the very, very start to try and survive the gank, so we can't just zone him out that way.
Weehaw failed it again. He's actually losing a lot of mana and health here just from Shadow Strike engages. But you're right.
Like
top lane Moon.
Oh, he is so low. One more attack will do it. Teasy with the range and the lead seed slowing him down.
No poor man, just Stout Shield. It's a different hero.
I suppose this is another way you can try and just win a lane. Okay, no, Zai tether out. Get back over to Universe. A fun combination. We were talking about this at the very, very start. The fact that EG, they've been really on point. Before this series, they banned out the Legion Commander in the first phase in every single game.
Yep.
And this time, well, they led through in game 1. And here in game number 2, they're taking themselves such great synergy with the IO with press the attack.
Yeah, it's just an extremely strong lane. Legion is strong enough already, and this extra bit of assistance helps a lot. We're going to go and contest this pull here, steal a bit of the experience away, and Zai will rotate over toward the rune. Looks like he will have it as well.
And he gets that, now only 50 gold away from his bottle. Oh, Sumail. He did not feel comfortable there either. He had to blink out and now burn the salve.
Destroying Weehaw in this lane.
3-2 to 11-5.
Sumail is...
Oh, hello. Speaking of destruction, Zai. Well, he actually won't be destroyed, but they will have to burn the shrine this early on.
This is just outclass in mid. I don't think this matchup is supposed to be this one-sided, but Sumail is so adept at playing this type of matchup. He has practiced this 100 times.
It might have also been different if he actually had phase shift Weehaw at the very, very start.
Absolutely.
He copped 2 Shadow Strikes. He didn't do any harassment into Sumail with the Orb to start with as well.
It definitely makes the matchup a bit different. That's a good point. That is true.
Yeah, but there is still other things going well for Thunderbirds. The fact that Resolution's getting really good farm. Your off lane is not doing that terrific as a Beastmaster, so he can kind of play catch up a little bit later on. But he's actually not going for the Iron Talon. He's holding onto his boots for the moment. And every time I look at Moon, he's like below 10% of his HP.
The Talon's on the courier. I was wondering. I felt like he had very little gold.
Okay.
So it is coming here.
That makes sense.
I think it's the only way to go here. This lane is over for him. Troll is a hard matchup as it is, and then there's a Treant as well.
So maybe that's when we start seeing Iowa Treant get a little bit more aggressive. Chris still holding his second skill point, see if he needs to have Living Armor or Nature's Guys. Yep. But if he wants to get aggressive, we'll see that Q being leveled up pretty quick.
And so far, so good for EG in this game. As I said, I think they need to get off to a hot start in the lanes.
Bottom lane, they're actually diving forward. Misery, Icarus dive down. Universe wants to try and fight him, but Zai being tossed around like a rag doll. But the Living Armor, there it is. That's why you save the point. It keeps Zai alive. And now allows him just to bottle up Universe very safely back at their tier 1 tower with a full creep wave to farm as well.
EG are out farming them really hard in this laning stage already. That is the strength of the Legion Commander, obviously. Being this strong in lane, they can utilize the IO to secure that, send the Treant top. I think their laning decisions here are very good. They had the option of trying to play an aggressive tri-lane with the Treant, but I think after that first blood, they just decided, you know what, it's not worth it. We can be fine as 2 down here. We send our Treant up, and it's for the greater good. This will give us a better benefit.
Well, the tree's actually starting his rotation now because the top lane's been so great. They know Arteezy can stand alone. He's about to finish up his phase boots. So anyone that comes to this top lane is basically dead. But Moon, I suppose he's had a rough game in game 1. In game 2, he's been asked to really struggle as well.
Yeah, this is not the easiest Beastmaster opening, but he's still got his level 4. It's not all too bad. I would be more concerned about the mid lane here if I was Thunderbirds. 11 CS to the 27 of Samael. He forced Weehaw back to base once again. And there's been no assistance in mid. They haven't even tried. The kill potential of Thunderbirds in mid is also pretty weak.
Well, both Misery and Saxa kind of have to stay on this bottom lane. If they don't, then they don't ensure the farm onto Resolution, who has been having the easiest of times on the bot lane.
Absolutely.
At least now he's finally got up to the Mystic Snake, but Universe is happy to get very aggressive against it. And with Resolution having the shield up, he already lost a little bit of his mana, so they don't have that bonus damage. Now in comes your tether from Zai. They want to keep these sprites moving forward, doing as much damage as they can, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, this is a problem of Medusa safe lane. The hero is just pretty weak in most cases, just because you have no slow, no stun. The Mystic Snake is difficult to land, especially against fast targets like a Legion Commander using overwhelming odds and the tether from IO. What are the chances that you actually get it to bounce? Very low. And EG are just taking full advantage of that and putting so much pressure here that they have to stay bottom with all these heroes. And essentially, it's just winning them the early game by the minute.
And Crit's already making his way towards the top lane. Arteezy wants to find Moon. Moon's trying to use his board to block out Artur, so he can't breach the tree line. The Hawk is also a little bit too far up, so it doesn't actually see Crit. And notice too, the Crit, Mr. Level 4 again, still holding that extra skill point. He's at a 0-1-3 at the moment. Not even wanting to have Nature's Guys to slip behind the lines.
Hasn't been useful yet. There's been no point, really.
Okay, so Resolution's gone home. Weehaw forced back twice, or however many times now, and now you've actually managed to force the safe lane Medusa to go home. This is Universe having the time of his life. He's got a lot more CS than the Beastmaster, and this is all lane CS.
This is a bit quiet right now. In a way, it's quiet as far as kills go, but there's actually a lot of pressure being put in this bottom lane, but nothing is turning into kills. It's just slowly but steadily evil geniuses.
Top lane. Crit didn't get the punch off. He didn't get the stun onto Moon. So they won't have a kill from that. Maybe Universe, Resolution's looking at it, but Saxa doesn't have enough life.
They're not killing this Legion. They can't do it with 3. It's just not a possible kill.
Can
they catch the Wisp?
Can they at least catch IO? But then I suppose you got to press the attack, right?
It's still playable if they get something like this.
That helps.
That's pretty good.
Sprite's able to connect, but then Zai, press the attack, will take care of that.
If they got through there with a Phoenix Icarus dive and a little bit of a body block, that's a kill. But they didn't. Now Universe is
quick
going in again.
Universe really wants to get up in the face of these supports. Again, if he can force the supports to do this. Icarus dive waving. Universe has movement speed. He's got the phase boots. Misery stuck around for just a second too long. It's brought him closer towards Universe, moving back to the tier 2 tower, but you've got the overwhelming odds available. Level 3 on that from Universe. Up against a defensive triline is the perfect thing. Weehaw wants to try and punish them. He TP'd in to help out, and now that rotation is a waste of time.
Great dive there from EG. A bit of a misstep from Misery. I think he misclicked and ran upward instead of downward, so he got close enough to the Legion that the salve could be broken. And now Misery has had enough of this bottom lane. Screw this. I'm going somewhere else.
He's headed top.
Yeah, Beast is 6, so there is kill potential here.
Well, they're looking at Crit for the moment. They don't actually have any vision, so Moon, okay, here comes the Hawk. And they'll see that Crit is a little bit lower. And Crit doesn't have any observer wards. If you actually look at the dire vision at the moment, it's purely around Samael. They have that one observer ward in the mid lane and nothing else on the map. So the rest of it is just pure lane dominance. And they know it. They've got it. Okay, so here they go top lane. Smoke up Misery as well as Saxa. They're going to try and wrap around the side. Detection is going to be the key thing, which they don't have. They don't have Dust or Sentries. So if Crit is in under the cover of Nature's Guys, they don't get the kill, and the smoke is pointless.
They smoked toward. Now they're going mid.
All right.
I actually really like this move from them. They need to put some pressure on Samael here, but this is not an easy kill.
Especially when Puck is back behind his tier 1.
No, they're turning back toward top again. They still don't have the best of idea where Crit is, and I think this move is actually just going to fail. Yep, okay, they're going bottom. They need to help.
Oh, bottom lane underneath the tower. Misery. Yes, Icarus dived himself out. The duel, however, will bring him straight back in again with the tether up. We have ourselves a winner in the Winner's Universe. Medusa, shields are up, but more support is on the way. It's Puck. He's itching for a Dream Coil, but he'll have to orb himself. Oh, no, the Dream Coil! Well, that's a bit of a whoops, and he'll have to run away now. Evil Geniuses are still ready to fight. Arteezy rotated down. They got the numbers. They got the force.
So before this game started, when I said I didn't really favor EG's draft, said they needed to have a good early game, I think this is way more than I was expecting. Like, even if they were doing well, I didn't think they were going to do this well. They're building such a huge advantage already. 5,000 gold minute 10, and that's only with 3 kills and 0 towers. It's an absurd farm discrepancy that we have right now. It's just these Thunderbird supports don't have the best play potential. They don't have anywhere to go. They can't really gank the Queen of Pain. They can't really contest the Troll top. And meanwhile, they're being so pressured bottom that it's kind of like a checkmate right now where there's no way out. The hero that can bring them back in the game is Puck, but he got destroyed one-on-one.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? He just got absolutely manhandled by Sumail mid, probably the biggest individual mid lane performance just from a laning perspective we see in all tournaments. Sumail, he's playing some of the best laning I've seen in a long time, just from anyone.
He hit it perfectly. Oh, they dust and they find Crit, but Icarus dived forward, able to reveal him on the run through the trees. Raw's going to be committed with the Sunray, but that's a very tanky tree and protector. Goes for the overgrowth and the leech. Bringing in help. The duel is up. Universe plus 20 onto him. Crit will easily survive, and it's Thunderbirds. They're trying to make a play. They're trying to find something, but you can't even kill the support Treant, the man who gave first blood to the Thunderbirds. The only kill the Thunderbirds have, and they cannot kill him now.
They need damage.
You don't have it.
Well, you do if Puck joins. Once again, I feel like it's like the only option they really have is to incorporate Weeha in these ganks, but
they tried.
Yeah, well, that was a failure. That's kind of the short version of that. Is that just that this bottom play failed for them. Weeha's TP was long, so he didn't get in time. There could have been maybe a great Dream Coil there when they dove, but I don't know if he had TP on cooldown or if the other heroes TP before him at the beginning. But when you want to reinforce this bottom tower, if the enemy team is diving your Medusa, you TP the Puck first. He has all the turnaround potential in the world for you, and then you can bring in your support afterwards. He might have also just been in a bad position where he didn't feel comfortable TPing next to Queen of Pain or something like that. Then you can just get jumped and die. So,
well, here
tough times.
Oh, Puck. Weeha and Sumail battling for the runes with Resolution on the run from Arteezy as well as Zai. No shields, no mana, no life, no hope. Ends up losing him, and because they're positioned, they can just rotate in towards Weeha. Weeha, he's silenced and tries to get aggressive against Sumail, but he's burnt all 3 abilities, now all up to the hillside. But Sumail, hot on the tail, easily able to follow the Puck with no extra phase shift, with no control. This is too easy.
Thunderbirds are getting destroyed. Yeah, there's no need to sugarcoat it. They're actually just getting destroyed in this game right now.
Thunderbirds are definitely not going. Relocate up to top lane, and here we go again. Moon wants to run. All he can do is summon a ball, which just gives an extra little bit of money to Arteezy. He farmed them so heavily when he was laning against Moon, and now he just gets more. The top 3 net worths of EG, all three of the top 3 on the map. And maybe now, can they fight it with the silence, with the Dream Call? You've already lost Misery, and Weeha knows you cannot. You have to run, but the duel is up again. This is a slaughter.
Absolutely. This is probably the biggest stomp in the early game that we've seen all tournament, including the group stage. There's a 10,000 gold lead coming in now for Evil Geniuses, and man,
okay, how do you stem the bleeding?
They look scary.
You're
right
now in triage. What the hell do you say to the doctor to get Thunderbirds back into the world of the living?
I think you have to try to group up some more heroes. Like, you need to use the Supernova and Dream Coil together and try to set up a type of fight. One way to do it is to set up with Beastmaster getting a roar and hoping that EG will relocate in. They have 2 choices. If you roar a guy and you start showing presence on that roar and try to kill him, they can either relocate and try to fight back or give them a kill. But that's at least something. If they try to fight back, that's where you can set up a great Dream Coil, Supernova, and maybe even a Stone Gaze. The difficult thing is getting all your heroes in position for this without EG noticing, because EG have very good aggressive wards, EG have all the lane pressure in the world, so they generally have a pretty good read on what's happening, and would you look at that? Another duel.
The wings get clipped of the Phoenix. Universe having a great time. And you got Crit just stalking the top lane as well. You can have sentry wards down, and they're hoping they'll find him, but it's Sasuke. Okay, here we go. Another relocate. There's just easy movement from evil geniuses. Another 2 heroes down. We're 1-1-1 on the board. Those ones are a little bit more lopsided towards EG, however. They do hit the 10k net worth now. 8,000 for experience.
Weeha is sitting on almost treads with double null, minute 15. Blink is extremely far away. The resolution has had to go into a Midas. That might have been the plan from the beginning anyway, but it's kind of starting. Oh, bottom lane.
Yeah, they're going again. Resolution. Stone Gate has to be used offensively, but Samael doesn't care. Can blink forward. The only thing that's stopping him at the moment is his mana pool. He didn't have enough to keep fighting.
And, okay, so let's talk a bit about why this game got to this stage, because starting out, as I was saying, I like Thunderbirds draft a lot. The components in this game that are working overtime for EG are the IO and the Legion Commander. I feel like those are the absolute key parts. This dual lane together is extreme. It's so good against the enemy supports. And they've just been playing it extremely well. Top lane, Moon Meander.
Beastmaster
this is the fate, however.
This is what they have to do. The jump in, the silence, a 3-man coil into the Nova. This is what Thunderbirds require. Troll Warlord will fall. Crit will go down as well. The blink away will get Samael out of range of the Nova, but Universe wants to fight. Duel is available. He'll get slowed down by the sprites with the orb damage. You actually have a very low Legion Commander, but with Zai's arrival, the regeneration, it does arrive. Misery is an unhealthy man. Sucks will die to the ball slap, and Misery starts his TP. They'll see him. One quick swing. Misery! Well, they needed something. That's a hallelujah TP.
This ends up being, I think, a 2-for-2 trade, but, you know, these kills are extremely valuable for Thunderbirds.
You see the swing.
It's a big win for them. Like, any kill trade-off right now will favor them massively with this comeback gold, and Resolution wasn't involved. So he gets a lot of free farm time, puts some pressure on the mid tower.
Let's watch it again. So this is the bait that you said. It had to be this. The Raw controls RTZ perfectly. The Nova, EG is just so busy with the fight, they cannot do anything about it. Samael was very, very lucky he was able to have that blink away in time.
Overwhelming odds from Universe here. So much damage coming out. Samael didn't have the mana for Sonic Wave here, else I think this is a full cleanup. But Misery at least gets out here for Thunderbirds. So still, EG with a big advantage. That was a bit of sign of life here from Thunderbirds. We're going to need more than this from them, however.
Yeah, they need
and
a lot more.
Again, it has to be centered around the Puck and Phoenix. They are the heroes that need to set up these fights for them. That was a bit of the right stuff.
I suppose Puck at least can now think about having the blink tag, because that instant jump would have made that fight maybe a little cleaner, or at least make it so if you don't have that exact situation, which was 3 heroes walking in from EG while you were perfectly smoked through the tree line, that you could close the distance that way. Now Weehan needs the blink dagger to do the same thing. Moon needs to progress in his items. Look for the higher levels of the Necrobook. Get a little bit of burn to work. We've seen Samael already having a bit of a mana crisis in the fights to get the full cleanup. That's where Necrobook can help out.
I also think Necrobook is a nice item against IO. Just put the book on the IO so he can't heal. Just keep it busy and force IO out of the fight. I once again still think the IO is the key component in EG's draft so far, just winning the laning stage as hard as they have. And I think this hero has been banned quite a bit against EG as well in this tournament. I seem to remember that has been one of the targeted bans of different opponents. And this game is definitely showing why. So early dominance from EG has continued. Now we're reaching this mid-game stage where this lane dominance can't really continue in the same way, so EG will probably want to look for plays. Ideally, Tran sets them up with just Nature's Guides into Overgrowth with Relocates, easy pickings for the duel damage. By the way, Universe has won 5 duels with level 1 duel. That's pretty exceptional, actually. Most of the time we see 2 or 3, and then you reach level 12. But it's been very active.
I can tell you about the IO. It was actually banned out in the first phase by every team that faced EG until Invictus Gaming. And the 2 times it didn't ban it out, it was picked once by EG, which the EG lost, and then it was completely untouched in the 3rd game. And IG also won that game.
Yeah. Well, this game is a good showcasing of what the hero can do in the right hands and against the right hands. It's like both of the things give them a really nice IO game. And they first phased it. Yep. So Thunderbirds knew going into this what they were up against. And maybe they were thinking something along the lines of what I was, that they could deal with this laning and it would be all right, but they've been pressured way too hard.
But things have slowed down. Like, okay, Thunderbirds get themselves a good fight up on top. Resolution's running this catch-up Midas. He's building up and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Obviously, EG still have a lot to work with, but they're giving time for Thunderbirds to reach some of these critical items which will help them in the team fight.
Yeah, finally Puck's Blink is about to come out. 200 gold. I think this might be one of Weeha's worst blink timings of all time on his puck. Generally,
taking
very
longer than 20 minutes.
Oh, he's getting it now. He sold a null to get it now, and that shows to me that Thunderbirds want to fight right now. So the blink dagger is arriving. They are already grouped up around the top area. However, this really well-placed ward, yeah. This is another way of doing it. You try to just man-fight EG and believe that you have the better execution with this blink surprise.
But they're not ready yet. Like, Misery isn't involved in this engagement. You can still relocate in both Sumail and Zai. So while Misery is doing the defense of this, EG will have the numbers.
Yeah, Thunderbirds thought twice about it, went back. Now Weeha has an Invisorin, so Thunderbirds with a potential play there. Might see him move toward the bottom area, actually. It is being drawn just now by Saksa, that there is a potential play here if they move down.
I think they also understand they still need all this farm. Like, you've got Misery building into his hand of Midas. Everyone is in recovery mode.
Yep. Oh, he's actually pretty close to it. Yeah. This is still not a done game.
No.
If EG have one bad team fight, the game can swing back to like the 5K mark or maybe even less.
I'm wondering if Misery has also been given the space so he can get his gold income to 150 gold per minute, if you want to take that with a negative 20 respawn time.
How to get GPM.
How to get money on it.
I think very rarely whether you take the Fire Spirit damage, it is a really high amount, but the GPM is also extreme. Level 15 talent, 150 GPM is the best GPM talent in the game, bar Pucks on 25, I guess. So, really wants to get his hands on that.
Don't know if Weeha's ever going to go the plus 420 gold per minute.
I think he would love to in this game. He has some gold to catch up to.
The meme talent,
yep.
over having the Illusionary Orb distance and speed.
It's picked up almost every time. I think the Illusory Orb talent used to be 100% and then it got nerfed to 75. It's still really good and really cool, but, you know, you're holding it up against getting 7 gold per second. That's pretty crazy. It's 1 CS, what's that? 1 CS every 7 seconds for free. It's pretty absurd.
They just saw crit coming in. The Observe Ward was able to detect it. They'll also see, actually no, they won't see Legion Commander. She's under the cover of a fresh Shadow Blade. So Blink, Armlet, and Shadow Blade. The TP.
Oh, missed it.
Crit misses the Overgrowth. Now they're looking for Resolution. Universe can't close the distance.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, Stone Gaze. Very, very defensive there from Medusa. Want to survive. They do see the relocate. The Hawk is able to see it, so Moon is moving over. They can potentially kill up the Io. Sumail is in the neighborhood, and he actually gives a Lincoln Sphere protection to Zai. Moon can't go on him, and the duel, it wraps up the Rubik, not to mention the overwhelming odds. Universe, he's a Mack truck, just putting tire marks all over Moon's face. A triple kill for this plus 64 damage Legion Commander.
Excellent execution from EG here. That was pretty much the perfect play. The Lincoln's placement right before they wanted to roar. Universe getting in so much damage. He is extremely farmed on this Legion Commander.
Okay, Weeha, do you really want to do this? Roshan is starting. The Hawk will give them the vision inside the pit. Weeha, he's going to go YOLO. The jump in, the orb out, and he actually doesn't get it. He'll actually go down. Arteezy,
he got bashed.
with the help of Sumail, will find the kill. It was actually a first hit bash from Arteezy.
I think so, yeah. First or second hit.
Oh, I'd love to see that again in massive slow motion so we can see exactly what happened, but the EG, they just, you knew you had to go for something more, and they just did. The Rubik will die again. And they may get more. Resolution's trying to retreat on bottom lane because you don't have the duel. It just got used. But this was plus 78 damage 23 minutes in on a Legion.
With how this game is going now, like this last fight plus Roche pretty much puts EG in a position where, the way I look at it, they can't really lose this game in any other way than messing up on the high ground. Once again, this play top that Thunderbirds were looking for, I think Puck wasn't there. And
here we go.
It just doesn't work.
Let's see how just close it was. Weeha. It's the right idea. All behind, blink in, and then grab the Aegis.
Let's see here. Blink.
It's the silence and then first hit bash.
Yeah.
I had to, boys. I had to.
I think he was saying, of course he bashed. That looked more like, what? That's also what Root could expect.
He may have not even been.
Oh, come on, man. My game's hard enough. Why you got to be lucky as well?
And that's like Arteezy. Wait, I just bashed someone? I was only clicking to get the Aegis.
Oh, nice.
It's right. It was exactly on the same position.
Okay, so let's look over the options here for EG. They can look to push the high ground of this Aegis. If they do so, it's very important that IO is in a good position to relocate out, because Thunderbirds, even being behind 20,000 gold, can still win a fight. Their team fight is really, really good if they get off a good coil into Phoenix Ultimate. Even on just 2 heroes, that can be enough to set them up a successful fight. So EG still need to be on their toes and can't just cruise toward victory here. Oh, crit.
He comes under the sentry wall, but it may not matter. Samael, Arteezy, Zai, hello.
Okay.
And goodbye, Weeha. He wanted a little bit of space. Arteezy feels someone's there. He was so close to hitting Weeha. The orbs will fly. He gets hit by the balls of Zai. Weeha still has his TP available. He's going to blink in deeper. He'll want to creep skip one more time at least, if possible.
Yep. Bottom area, Arteezy shadow bladed up. They do have relocate available.
Puck's coming in. He actually TP'd in towards the shrine, so Arteezy has no mana at the moment. So he runs forward. So now you can just Dream Call and try and kill him off. If you want to hit the silences, the slows, it should be enough to kill him. And now, okay, Fadebot will do it. The Aegis Immortal is gone, but look at Universe's position. He jumps in behind. He looks for Moon Leander. He's going to mop him up easily inside the duel. And a pause for a moment. Puppy on the phone. As Zai has broken his keyboard.
Zai keyboard
Bork. He balked it.
So rare. Keyboard 18 working. So that's 3 players with a broken keyboard in the same pause. That's really unfortunate for EG.
Someone spilled their beverage. Obviously, all that monster just spilled over the EG keyboards and destroyed everything they had.
Crits worked. He just had caps lock on. That's not too bad.
Oh boy, but this position in the fight, you can see it right here. Arteezy, so the Dream Call is being used. Crit still has overgrowth into this fight. So we can lock down all 3 of them. But Misery, ready to dive forward, ready to potentially Sunray. But you also have Universe behind him. 90, look at the damage the Legion Commander is pumping out. 134 plus 212 when that armor is toggled on. Not to mention the fact he's got 25 armor.
Universe is an absolute monster this game. It's like the strongest Legion we've had all tournament for sure at this point in the game. Now, this fight is still playable for Thunderbirds. They have the Stone Gaze still channeling. Phoenix has not used ultimate yet, and it is level 2. They have the Necrobook running. The lift is ready for Rubik. This is actually a potential kill on Arteezy.
That is the ultimate. Why? In mid-pause from Crit.
So, okay, yeah. This is, obviously, it's unfortunate that this happened. So this is when the teams can start mapping out and planning out how they want to take this fight. So Queen of Pain is top, has a TP, Arcane Rune, and Orchid ready, so he will TP on the Shrine for sure to try and assist Arteezy.
And the Sonic Wave's going to hit pretty hard too.
So the only reason we're really in this position is that Arteezy kind of threw the Aegis away, I feel like, to just over-aggression moving down.
It was like he's trying to bait them into a fight.
Yeah, it looked like the idea was, okay, I have Diffusal, I will run into Diffusal someone, start hitting them, the enemy team will turn and fight me, and then I can relocate my teammates in. But that will still have been a 3-on-5 on enemy turf, so not the ideal fight for them. And now this could turn into a big kill. Yep. This Arteezy troll has had a death, so I don't think his streak is that big. The biggest kill on the map is honestly the Legion right now for
He's
the
sitting
Radiant.
at 905. Samel is 505. And then, like, Arteezy, yeah, he's only got 4 kills. He's got 13 assists. He's got more assists than the IO. And this is on your 1 position.
Yep.
That's a lot of work coming in from the Troll Warlord.
Battle Trance is one hell of a drug.
If they actually get rid of the
Does that count as an assist?
you got a Sentry on Saxa. Because Arteezy Shadowblade comes off cooldown in 1 second time. But the Necros are still on top of him.
It's not Necro 3. They need to place a Sentry.
They actually have to use a Sentry Ward. Now in comes to jump to pick up on the Treant Protector. The Nova, it's down, but Arteezy focuses it with a Sonic Wave to damage the rune. They have to stand here, Thunderbirds. The damage is too much. Resolution's out of shield. They'll lose 4 heroes. All the reinforcements arrive, and Weeha run the other direction. That'll work. Go up north. They'll never expect that. You go beyond the wall, away from EG. Okay, maybe Samal expected it. All 5 heroes. It's a full wipe. Thunderbirds have lost everything. We actually breach past the 3-2-2 to 3-2-4. And EG with a relocate up, they look to do the damage. The first lane of Rax, 26 minutes in, no buybacks available for Thunderbirds. And even if they did, the ultimates just aren't there.
And the pressure's going to continue mid here. This is one of the absolutely most perfect games we've seen played the whole tournament. EG are looking really scary going into the next round. I thought this matchup was going to be pretty close and that maybe Thunderbirds were even slight favorites, or at least, you know, that we had some really close games. This is just a total beatdown.
And the Thunderbirds, fresh to their name, but evil geniuses, they are making mincemeat of them. The quick runaway. They've done the damage. A lane and a half of Rax. And what do you even do if you're Thunderbirds? You're holding on because you know if you lose this, you're out of the major. And what a rough matchup as well for the first round. That's a big thing. This could have easily been like a grand final matchup just with the brands, just what we were expecting. But EG, now they make it look like the first qualifier game.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah.
But yeah. Kind of.
It's hard to go against it.
Okay, so again, like, this is just a game gone wrong for Thunderbirds. Unfortunately, you don't really have space for that in a single LM format.
Yeah.
I don't think this game really does the team justice. I think they're way better than what they're showing here, and actually also better than they showed in Game 1. In this game, multiple things went wrong. Their safe lane got outplayed. Weeha got really outplayed in mid. They all lost all 3 lanes. Arguably, you know, as I've said multiple times, love the Thunderbirds draft, but seeing it play out, they definitely have a weakness they need to overcome in the early game, and the way of doing it, they have to rely on their mid and their off laner to do the pulling, but they both lost. So there was really nothing for Thunderbirds to fall back on and draw from, and that's why they're finding 3 kills in a 30-minute game. There's absolutely nothing. Have they taken a tower? They got 1 tower. They got the top tower earlier.
Yeah, and that was when EG were looking for a trade-off, looking for a fight. And EG are coming in to try and put the last nail in the coffin. And I will agree with you, Thunderbirds, they are a fantastic team. We all expected more from them. That's what makes this such a shock that EG are just so superior in the game. But it is the snowball problem. EG just have the momentum. It's the second Queen of Pain from Samael. We're just looking to win a game in just over 30 minutes. He's had a fantastic laning phase. The puck can't do anything. Moon has just been restricted to the Sin Bin for most of this game. And they're coming out. They know they have to do something, and this may be the last roll of the dice for Thunderbirds. Smoke up, look for a fight. Roshan's still away from spawn time, and they should know that. But they're hoping they just find somebody out of position. But EG, right now they're in a love circle. Everyone hold hands, and together they will actually smoke into the middle of the fight. Where's that jump? The smoke will break on Samael, so they know exactly where Thunderbirds are. And EG, they're wrapping around. A nice observer ward from Thunderbirds, but they won't see through the smoke. They will see that IO in a second.
All right, how many hits do you think Universe is going to need to win his duel? I'm taking bets here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I'm over. The Sonic Wave will try and help Alice against the Medusa, the biggest target. The Dream Coil is down, but there's just no follow-up without the Medusa. Thunderbirds, they're losing everything under their shrine, and GG, well played. It won't even take the half-hour mark. And Evil Geniuses will 2-0 through into the quarterfinals. What a performance. 2-0 through into the quarterfinals.
Yep. Sorry, that might have been a little loud. My apologies.
What a performance. What a laning phase. What a
There's not much else to say. I mean, in a way, this game is explaining itself, and we had plenty of time during the game to talk about what the problems were, so I feel like we've kind of got it covered already. I think what we should talk about maybe is looking forward. In a way, this Evil Geniuses team seems to be catching, seems to be hitting some serious stride right now. Easy second game for them.
Well, they needed to have this kind of confidence. The winner of the next match, like a lot of people will probably be predicting, as Team Secret, a team who have looked flawless through this tournament. If EG